coming up. I'm looking forward to your conference in October.
That's right.
Definitely going to be there. So in the land of cowboys,
Yeah. No, that's gonna be a ton of fun. Well, dude, I'm super stoked that you're here, man. I mean, I love this conversation. For everybody, I mean, you guys all need to know who Geoff is, and definitely check out, the Mortgage Marketing Institute, and especially Mortgage Marketing Radio. Make sure you like it. Make sure you subscribe to it. Geoff, I've been a long time listener. I love it. And I love how and it's not just the interviews, but the guests that you have, but how you evoke that conversation, and it's tactical, it's practical, and it's inspiring. So just kudos to you, man, for leading, that great, conversation. And of course, look, you've written a killer book, man, Disrupt or Die. And,
Let's hold it up. Let's hold it up. I got it out of the closet just for this.
That's awesome.
By the way, it's available on Amazon, not Kindle, but pretty cheap on Amazon. Check it out. Yeah. Great gift for real estate agents.
Awesome. And maybe Sonia, if you could grab that and put the link in the chat, that would be great. So, well, cool. Well, let's, Geoff, we were talking, ahead of time, and so, I don't know. I've heard this AI thing seems to be kind of entering our business. What? Maybe it's a fad, just like the internet was a fad. So right. This is happening fast. I mean, one thing I say often is the future is happening at velocity right now. So, what do we do? Where do I start? I mean, what are your thoughts on, how do we integrate? And I'm going to put AI in quotation marks, as well, right? There, tech, AI. I mean, there's just lots going on, but where do I start?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's a great framing question, because your answer to that determines, I think, how you navigate your way through the coming waves of this AI revolution. And I'm one to also always try to put things in the proper perspective of is this hype or real? And so I've been asking some people that question. For example, the other day I interviewed Joe Wellu, CEO of Total Expert. I just dropped that podcast this week, so if you want to check it out, I asked him that same question. Is AI real or hype? And what he said to me is they were about to make an announcement about an AI enhancement that they're making in their platform at Total Expert. But one of the things he brought up, which I agree with, and I've already seen this happening, is this what they call agentic AI, which is the ability for AI to kind of seem like it's a real human without detection. And what they're starting to see is that AI, his words were, they're seeing use cases and examples of AI that is better on the phone, more empathetic than a salesperson in working a prospect or client through an early stage conversation. And so I see the emoji coming up with a big, oh my God face, right? So yeah, it is already here. It's just a matter of so that's an extreme example. Let's bring it back down to how many people here are just, right? We're loan officers, we're mortgage originators, we're on the streets trying to generate deals, right? And that's what I want to do, is bring it back down to, great, that's all cool. You're not necessarily going to roll that out as your company or whatever. So how can you use AI? Before I answer that, let me finish the last part of my answer to your question, Craig, is I think the other part too to that answer is be adaptable. I always go back to, actually, when I was writing this book, Disrupt or Die, How to Survive and Thrive the Digital Real Estate Shift. I was doing a little bit of research for the book, and that phrase, survival of the fittest, well, that brings us back to Darwin, right? Because he's kind of attributed with having that phrase of the species who survives is the one that is the fittest. And if you dig deeper into those writings, not to get I'm Darwin guy, I'm not, but I just thought it was interesting to find out the truth is the reality of what that phrase it truly means is it's not the fittest who survive, but the ones that are most adaptable to change. And in the context of us today in this real world, learn new skills. So that's what I would answer your question with is learn to be adaptable and learn new skills. The faster you can adapt and learn new skills, the better your survival rate. That's what being fittest is.
And so it's right. Timing is always relevant. This is really interesting. I've had this conversation multiple times just this week with clients. I've actually helped solve a lot of unstucking for people. And what I've sort of centered it in on, and similar to what you're saying, is look, the game has changed. But here's the thing, the game is always going to win. So sometimes we have to figure out, how do we play the game differently?
Yeah.
Now that's a broad statement when we're talking about AI per se. I was using this in context of more specific situations, within companies and whatnot. But in terms of being accepting to change, that's a question. Has your game changed, or do you want to change your game? So we have to start with acceptance. Then we can create change, right? Then we can be adaptable.
Yeah, that's an interesting framework. And my response to that is, and don't take this the wrong way, but my response to that is, like when social media came out, my response is, it's less, for me personally, it's more so about, it's the tools have changed. It's the, like what we play with, right? You use football, you play with a football, baseball, bats, whatever. It's the tools, right? It's the resources we have that has changed.
Yeah.
The game, the end game is still, we want to have conversations with people, right? Mm-hmm. It's just a matter of like, what are the tools we use to get there? And obviously with AI, and we're, by the way, stay tuned, don't leave, because I'm going to show you in just a moment, and I'm going to give you a free custom GPT that you can use today. And I'm going to show you how I did it in 30 minutes. Okay. So the tools and resources have changed, but the game still remains the same, right?
Yeah, no, and I love that, and I totally agree with that, right?
Yeah.
Like I said, there's a different context
We're just riffing.
using it, but it's true, but we have to be adaptable, and that's agility, is being able to do this, So
right, that's the point. That's the point, because it's funny, because a lot of people are still sitting on their hands. They're still like thinking AI is a fad, or I do not think it's hyped to. I've heard the phrase, I think it was Seth Godin, if you follow him at all, Purple Cow and all those various books. Seth's an amazing thinker, but Seth's comment was that AI is the biggest change to humanity since electricity, and bigger than the internet. Like, that is a big statement.
Yeah. Well, look how fast it is hitting us. And like I said, the future is happening at velocity in a very short amount of time. Look what's happening. Yeah. Agentic AI, like we were just talking about. I mean, I just heard the word agentic AI for the first time, maybe like 6 months ago.
Right.
And like, look how fast it's happening at such a high level. And knowing that, how faster it's going to continue happening.
Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy, right? People always react or reject, change. Like, I mean, if you want to even further, like I found it funny the other day. I read an article that said people rejected electricity when it first came on board because they thought it was possessed by demons. And so they wanted to keep their gas lamps in their house instead of have electricity. Okay. Yeah. So once again, adaptable to change.
Yeah. Well, okay. So here we are, right? Yep. You're like, dude, every day, wake up. How am I going to succeed? How am I going to adapt? How do I get myself into this mindset? And what's a first place to start?
Yeah. Okay, cool. I'm going to give you the real world story and I'm going to show you, I'm going to walk you through, I'm going to do a screen share. I'm going to show you this AI custom GPT I created 30 minutes before today's webinar. Right. You know why? Because for the past few days, I've been thinking, what can I share? Like, what can I do? I want to show up and have something meaningful and have an impact. And I'm thinking, how to write social media posts. Like, that's been done. Who cares? Even though most people are still underutilizing it. I'm thinking, what can I do? What can I do? And I'm thinking, okay, what's real in the world right now? Right. Yeah. So what I did is I started having a conversation with ChatGPT. And I want you to, first of all, think of it like this. It's your digital assistant and you want to have a conversation. By the way, side note, if you haven't used the voice enabled capabilities yet, I highly encourage you to do that, because it's a hell of a lot easier to talk than write. And it actually understands better its context, and you won't have to rewrite as multiple times.
Interesting.
So that's the first takeaway there. Whether you have the version on your mobile phone, the mobile app, or even on the desktop, it has the microphone thing. You can turn that on. Try it. You're going to be blown away. As a matter of fact, I have a GPT, and I gave it a female voice, and I named it Carmen, and the wife wasn't happy with that. So
did you give her an accent too?
I thought of Carmen Electra when I named her. Let's just put it that way. All right.
Hey, whatever works, man.
Somebody's like, who the hell's Carmen Electra right now? Right.
I love it.
And then my wife came up with one named Albert. So there you go. We're even. All right. I'm just going to do a screen share right now, and I'm going to show you total transparency. Have you ever been in a pinch and you needed to create content for something? All right. I know I have. Okay. So here is me 30 minutes ago, and I'm in ChatGPT, and I put this prompt right in here. I basically, it's my digital assistant. I came here and I gave it this thing right here, right? I'm a webinar guest, and my topic for today is how smart LOs can use AI to save hours, close more deals, because that's what the social media graphics said, right? That's what your promo said. And then I said, I need your 3 best unique, not the usual, write my social posts, use cases to hit a home run on today's webinar. Feel free to go deep. Any questions for me? So here's the conversation I then thus have had, right? It gave me these 3 ideas out of the gate. And hang with me here, because you're going to see, hold on a second. Sorry. I knew this was going to happen. Damn it. My computer. Let me just refresh the page. You guys still with me?
I'm with you.
Okay, cool. I just got to refresh the page because I overwhelmed it, and I'm like all out of RAM on my computer too. So that's why it's giving me this error. But stick with me. It'll come back here in a second. I'm going to walk you through this journey that I just went through. Now, while this is pulling up, think about what scenario you have coming up that you might be able to use the same type of just dialogue and question for. I'm going to show you how this flowed. Let me go back to the top. Okay, here we go. I'm not going to highlight it anymore because that created an issue. So awesome topic, Geoff. Let's go beyond the surface level. We'll write my captions, blah, 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 blah. Notice the personality, right? Make you look like an AI Jedi. Well, that's funny.
Now, are you trying to share your screen again right now? Oh,
all right. You're not. Let me reshare. Sorry. Let's just go right here. AI for, I'm going to do entire screen. Makes things easier.
That's fine. I'm looking at Troy's, his name for his ChatGPT is going to be Roxanne.
All right. There you go. That makes sense. Okay. All right. Seeing the screen now?
Nope. Not yet.
Let's give it a second to load. There it goes. How about now?
Nope. Try it again. Try the share part again. It doesn't look like it's trying to do the share.
Yeah, I'm trying to share entire screen. So let me just give it one more hit here. And if that doesn't work, I'll go back to sharing an individual tab, which just means extra steps.
Now I think it's working through.
All right, it's coming through?
Yep, I got you.
Okay, let's pick up where we left off. Okay, so number one idea it gave me, right? It knows the audience, and so this is the one idea. Your loan officers, database retrieval system with smart segmentation. So this idea I thought was pretty good. Who here has a past client database, right? Ghosted leads or different things like that you might be able to look at bullet point number 2. Analyze tags, lead status, last touch points, and group leads by various stages, et cetera, time dormant, emotional triggers, et cetera. You may or may not have some of that data, but this is just one example right here is crafting micro campaigns, email, SMS, social touch points for each group. And these are just ideas, by the way. So the first stage is the ideas, because what you do for, all I asked it for was to give me the ideas. I didn't ask it to go deep yet and give me the content, right? Yep. And so here's the second one: agent value engine, personalized class, and follow-up builder. So you can use AI to prompt some ideas for a class. LO assistant. I'm going to skip all the way to the bottom because this is where it got really good for me when I started to go deeper on this thing. I started thinking about, by the way, look at all this use cases and stuff it built out. Power educational funnel built around seller buy down. This is where I just started to go deeper because I'm thinking contextually what's going on in the market. In most markets, you got listings are up, prices are being right, price reductions, all that stuff. We got more sellers than buyers in a lot of markets. And so I'm looking at this through the filter of how do I help realtors sell more homes? I don't care how do I help them get more listings too? I don't care. I just want to help more realtors because if I do that, I win. Okay. AI-powered educational funnel built around seller buy downs. Create content that educates skeptical or confused buyers about why now could be the right time to buy thanks to seller paid buy downs and concessions. This content warns cold leads, drives consultations, gives agents something valuable to post. Okay. So prompt, this is a prompt, by the way. So you would take this prompt and then you would put it into the prompt window down below, and it would then create this content for you, right?
Let me interrupt you for a second. Just again, I'm just saying for the audience, right? Because everyone has the variant. Why do you want to give ChatGPT a prompt?
You want to wait for them to answer?
If anyone has an answer, put it in here. I'd say just go for it if you want to hit that. I just want to make sure everyone, because sometimes we just come at it, but we have to prompt ChatGPT. Well, I'll have you answer it.
Yeah. I mean, you got to think about context. It has to understand context. Who are you? What is the problem you're trying to solve? What is the outcome you want to achieve?
That's right.
Okay.
We want to create the lens for which ChatGPT to look through so we can answer it in that context. Kind of how I think about it too, right?
All right, so let's just keep going here a little bit. So this is just some examples, right? Is social post captions. Would you buy if your rate was 5% instead of 7%? Now imagine how many of you here need content for social media, right? All of us, reels, shorts, carousels, whatever. Well, what if your video opened up and said, hey, what if your rate was 5% instead of 7%? You might already, right? So now you've got potentially a opening hook and script for you, right? Here's a carousel post breakdown, et cetera, et cetera. I'm going to keep going for a second time because I really want to get to the nut of what I created right here. I was doing some stuff with FinLocker, so that's why I recognized FinLocker. AI-driven listing promotion system featuring seller buydowns. Now I'm getting deeper into what I really want to do with real estate agents is I want to help them market their properties and not just go with let's reduce the price. I want to have a conversation with them about leveraging seller buydowns to make that property more attractive to buyers. Okay. And by the way, a lot of agents are not familiar with how seller buydowns work. So you educating them on that would be good. So again, more social media stuff right here. I'm going to keep going. This actually wound up being a long thread. Like I said, I spent about 30 minutes on this, right? And then at some point, I asked the question right here. Can you assist with creating a custom GPT just for your agent partners, right? Drop your listing price and seller credit, and it'll generate captions and flyers, et cetera, et cetera. So it asks me questions during this. Remember, it's a conversation. Notice this question right here. It asks me, would you like a full downloadable template or slide deck? Yada, yada, yada. And then I go, let's build a custom GPT for agent partners. This GPT will take inputs like listing price, seller credit amount, loan type, and instantly generate marketing content agents can use to promote the listing with a seller paid buy down angle. Okay. Here's what this custom GPT will do. These are the inputs. Agents fill this in. Boom, 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 boom. All that stuff. Outputs. Instagram, Facebook caption, listing flyer, headline, sub-headline, MLS description, email database, video script, optional payment comparison chart. Let me go further. These are examples, right? Just standard, purchase price $500,000, seller credit, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now it's starting to give me these examples of social captions. By the way, am I going too fast for anybody, or is this all tracking? Let's check. Just let me know if we got to do a thumbs up. Are we doing okay?
You guys, is it going? Yeah, there we go. There's a thumbs up.
Okay, cool. Because this is all going to come full circle, and I'm going to show you how this all makes sense, and I'm going to make this really easy for you before we're done. Because there's a little bit of here's part of the problem with AI and GPT is like people like half-ass and they're like, they give them one sentence like, oh, the output sucked. It sounded like, right? Well, if you're coaching your digital assistant, you've hired a marketing person. How much time would you spend explaining to the person what the task is? Right? So anyway, we keep going. Then it tells me I can build this GPT as a custom GPT, a type form, drop form, Zapier, or Notion or Google Sheet. Kind of cool. And then it says, would you like me to write this prompt? And I said, I gave it, by the way, now here's where it gets fun. You start uploading data. I uploaded a seller buy down and concession guide, which has the parameters of loan types, amount you can buy down, all that stuff that you guys know, right? So now it's a reference guide. Now it's giving it a name, Listing Booster AI. Turn seller credits into buyer gold. And here's the core instructions. This is the prompt it gave me to create a custom GPT. And I'm going to show you that. The payoff is coming. Trust me.
Yeah.
But anyway, it gives me all the instructions. Here's what you want to do. Inputs. Like this is the questions it's going to ask the agent or you when you come here and use the custom GPT. What's the listing price? What's the credit offer, et cetera, et cetera. And then these are the optional outputs that you can choose to have the custom GPT produce. Instagram, flyer headline, you saw those earlier, right? Script, et cetera, et cetera. What can I build for you next? A formatted prompt to insert as a custom GPT. Yeah, so hard to say. GPT builder, yes. Let me just go on further. Step-by-step instructions. So you can see, guys, this was just a thread. It was a conversation, and it kept going and going and going. And I simply wanted it to help me build right here a custom GPT builder, which it did, which I then fine-tuned a little bit 30 minutes before this call. So could this be better? Yeah. Can I continue to make it better? You bet. But it did all of this together with me in roughly 30 minutes. Want me to build it for you? It did. Here's all the stuff it built. If I go further and further, deploy it yourself, click create a GPT. It'll do slide decks. It'll do like all this fun stuff. suggesting conversation starters. Those are for the GPT. These are questions or prompts that when people come to the page, they're going to see these kind of, you can have up to 4 showing, starter prompts that people can just click a button. All right. So that's the end. I know I went through that pretty fast, but let me show you the end result.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to view GPT. This was literally moments before we went live. And
now, does everyone understand also like what the GPTs are, like what that means, creating a custom GPT?
Let's see if anybody does or not. We can definitely provide some context.
We do understand. Does anyone do we want to explain that out a little bit? Okay, there's a thumbs down. Cool. Why don't you just explain a little bit, you're in ChatGPT. What does it mean what does a GPT even mean? Just give a little context there.
A custom GPT is purpose-built. It is purpose-built for specific use cases and scenarios. Exactly like the one you're looking at right here, Listing Booster. These GPTs can be for your own use, private. They can be shareable. They can actually even be sold in the GPT marketplace. Next time you're in GPT, over on the left side column over here, I want you to go to, where is it? Right here, GPTs. So I have a lot of content in here, right? So you click on GPTs, and I'm going to, let me just click it. I don't want to have to do 2 different tabs. This is the Explore page for all the GPTs that are available in the ecosystem of ChatGPT. You can see there's these topics here, writing, productivity, research, whatever. And then you can just search. By the way, there's mine right there, which is posted. Podcast intro writer script, Russell Brunson. Like if you want to put together webinars and funnels based on Russell Brunson. If I scroll down here, here's the trending ones. If you want to create images, these are by GPT themselves, DALL-E, obviously image creator, etc. So on and on and on. Like almost any use case here in the world, you would type in and see there.
And then you can create custom GPTs. The way I look at it is like you're creating your own personal team of AI assistants. To your point, digital assistants. It's your AI team, right? And so, Listing Booster is one of your GPTs. Now, whether you're using it for yourself or you want to go to market with it, right? And so, okay. Hopefully 100%. That helps a little bit of context for everybody.
Yeah. And what I showed you just prior to me landing here on this page, Listing Booster, what I showed you was my process for creating this GPT. Literally, like I said, in about 30 minutes, but out of the gate, it's already pretty damn good. And what I wanted to do was give you guys a tool today before we end that you're going to get a link to this. And this is what I do with the LOs I coach tomorrow, when I have my coaching call with my group of LOs, I'm going to give them this as the share of the week that they're going to share with their real estate agents as a way to add value and create conversations. Because let's just face it, that's the market of the moment, right? So here are these 4 prompts. You have up to 4 kind of, conversation starters is what they call these. These are built-in prompts as a conversation starter. So somebody would come here and they would see these prompts: create a full marketing kit for my listing. How should I describe a seller paid buy down? Write a video script to explain the benefits. Create a carousel post. Let's see, which one of these should I start with? How about how should I describe a seller paid buy down? Does that sound good?
I love it.
Because again, a lot of agents don't know that. And by the way, this is for, I believe, for in my MLS listing. Okay. So again, you're sharing this with agents. Hey, Bill at Remax, right? You're talking some small talk, whatever. This is just one simple prompt right here, right? Seller rate offering. Now that's kind of basic. They should hopefully, if they're a decent agent, understand and get that, I would think, right? Okay. So let's try a different one, shall we? Okay. So I just hit new chat. This will be kind of interesting. Create a full marketing kit for my listing with a seller credit using a 2-1 buy down.
Yep.
Here we go. Sample listing price. Let's see here. So here's what it's saying. It's saying, give me the listing price, the seller credit offered, the down payment, loan type, all the usual stuff we need, right? Okay. So I would need to fill those in, and then it's going to give me each one of those. All right, so let me just use it as an example right here. It'll take me a minute to fill this out. Let's just say 500K, seller credit. Should I use 10 grand? What do you think?
Yeah, make it weird. Go like 7 grand.
Okay, 7,000. Buyer down payment. Let's just say for fun. Come on, first time home buyers, all that, right? 10%. Loan type. Let's just go conventional. And I don't have the guidelines memorized, so don't hold me to that. Property type.
Primary.
And by the way, you guys can do this for the agent as well. Target type. So let's just say first time. Style, casual. What else? Agent name, Bill Smith, Remax. All right. So that took about a minute. Here we go. Instagram, Facebook caption. This $500,000 home comes with a $7,000 seller pay buy down, meaning your monthly payment is hundreds lower for the first 2 years. Year 1, 2, 3, et cetera, et cetera. Wow, settle for a price cut. So that's an example of a potential social post. Oops, whoa, slow down, kid. All right, so now it's opening up this different view. Let me close this out. I think my mouse got a little crazy. It's taken on a mind of its own. Oh, this is a seller credit kit. Interesting. Wow. So I can open that up in a bigger view if I want.
And you probably that's probably downloadable too.
Yeah. So what it's done is it's taken its own liberty here to create all these things and email to buyers. Oh, hey, Paz. Hey, a real estate agent, you got any buyers in your database? This $500,000 home just got a lot more affordable with the $7,000 credit. Obviously, use your own numbers, right? Here's a script for short. Now, I'm not saying this is great out of the gate, but this is better than looking at a blank screen. Here's a comparison, $20,000 price drop versus a 2-1 buy down, which lowers the payment more. I actually like that a lot.
I like that a lot.
Here's a PDF, a one-pager.
Especially for builders.
Yeah, exactly. So this is like a seller credit kit. This can be turned into a PDF. Let me just X out of that. Get back to where we were. Answer in chat instead. Yes, thank you. All right. So what do you guys think so far? How would you score this on a scale of 1 to 5? 5 being amazing, 1 being Geoff, you crashed and burned.
I mean, do you guys see this as an applicable, use in your business? Give a thumbs up, thumbs down. Any questions? Oh, 6. I like that. Troy's got a question. Once done, would you suggest asking ChatGPT the best way to disperse the content they created for the highest conversion rates or best deployment strategy for the content? How do you suggest getting this into the hands of your agents? Okay.
I'm going to stop the sharing and answer that question, because that's a good question. And that's really what this is all about. So look, there's things that could be done to improve this for sure. And you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue to improve this. So you're going to get the link to the GPT as an immediate shareable thing, but I'm going to continue to do some work to enhance it. By the way, what I did, you didn't see in there in the background. There's so many other things you could do there. As I uploaded the seller concessions guide, I uploaded a presentation that I have on seller concessions. I uploaded like one other thing as well, because the more context you feed it, the better it's going to be, right?
Yep.
Now, to answer your question, whoever asked it, if it was me, and let's just say Craig's the realtor, and Craig and I have some type of a connection, whatever.
Yep.
I just say, hey, Craig, what's up? It's Geoff. Small talk, blah, 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 blah. Hey, Craig, what's going on, man? In the market, are you seeing a lot of like price reductions or like properties sitting? What are you seeing?
Oh man, I got stagnant inventory. I can't move this property. I don't know how to attract buyers, and I don't think I really want to lower the price, because then I'm just degrading, the values around me, and it's frustrating. I don't know what to say to my, my clients and whatnot. What do you think?
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing from a lot of the agents I'm talking to, is like, we're in this situation of like, there's more sellers than buyers right now. And, we're kind of in this place where we're trying to make listings move, right? I'm sure you want to make your listings move, right?
Yeah. Hey man, I gotta pay the bills too, but I just want to help my clients, and I want to offer some different ideas, and I just don't really know what to do.
Yeah. Well, that's why I thought of you. I've been spending some time working in AI. How much have you used AI much at all? Like ChatGPT yet?
I mean, I honestly, I'm going cross-eyed with it. I don't really know where to start.
Okay. Well, cool. Then I might be your best call today, because this morning I put together this listing booster. It's a custom GPT. And what it has done is it's pre-built and purpose-driven for you to be able to easily get in there and create content, emails, breakdowns for sellers, explaining the benefits of seller buy downs and things like that. And I thought, hey, maybe Craig would be interested in checking that out and find a use for it.
Yeah. Well, and you said it's going to also help create marketing. And then that's the other thing I struggle with. I mean, I got to do more social media, and it's hard to create content, right? And I want it to capture attention.
Yeah. So it'll create pretty much anything you want, right? You know how it works. You just give it the prompt, but it's pre-built with a bunch of stuff in there. If you want social media posts, if you want like a breakdown to explain it to first-time home buyers in a simple way, or sellers for that matter, it'll also show you the benefits of doing a interest rate buy down versus reducing the price, and how that creates more affordability. So again, this isn't going to everybody. It's just going to like my VIP inner circle agents. But like, if I sent that to you, maybe you have a look at it, we can circle back and I can walk you through it.
Yeah, I love that. In fact, I would love to maybe we jump on a call tomorrow and actually go through it together.
Okay, cool. So what I'll do is I'll send it to you today after we hang up over email. You can chew on it for a little bit, a couple of days, but tell you what, let's do this. Let's get out our phones. I know you're a busy guy. Let's look at our calendar for either Friday or Monday. What works better for you?
Friday. I got open houses this weekend. I want to get in front of this.
Okay, cool. So how about Friday tomorrow at 11? Does that work?
Perfect.
All right. Grab a Zoom. Is that okay?
Yep. Zoom's good.
All right, cool. So I'm going to send you a calendar invite as well for tomorrow at 11. Right after this call, I'm going to send you the link to it. You can play around with it, get dangerous. Don't worry, you won't break it. But then tomorrow, you and I will circle back and I'll walk you through it and show you actually, how to drive the car.
Yeah, I'm super excited about this.
Cool. Boom. Hey, man, talk to you tomorrow. Yeah. Craig's too easy. I don't think so. I mean,
I know, honestly, there's confused agents out there. I think there's this desirability of like I want to understand this, but I don't. And I'm a little embarrassed that I don't want to ask. So I think there's a lot of like acceptance of like, yes, please help me.
Now, remember, Alberto, the context I set was Craig and I already have some level of relationship. So it's not a cold call, but I would encourage you to consider trying cold calls. Hey, by the way, side note, speaking of seller buy downs, I have a client that I work with in Hawaii, Johnny Loans. And Johnny took this idea of seller buy downs and he started calling real estate brokers and saying, hey, would you be open to me, spending a little bit of time, maybe at your upcoming meeting or just kind of a one-off training workshop about seller buy downs? And dude, 60% of the brokers are like, yeah, I don't know about seller buy downs, but my agents need to know about, you know what I'm saying? So
that's actually huge. I mean, think about that from obviously the one-to-many strategy, right? And you're positioning yourself as an expert because now you also have this to do the expert lift, right? But again, the magic is the simplicity of what you just created.
Yeah.
But the output is very, very technical.
And I want to remember, and by the way, Troy brings up a good point. He says, I'm embarrassed I don't understand this. Many agents fall into that bucket. I would agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
They don't want to admit, right? But by the way, when you reach out with a handout, they don't have to say, I'm afraid, or I don't, they could just be like, thank God you came.
Thank you. And now you have something to talk about too. That's the other thing is like, we need reasons to be in touch and talk about something a little bit outside. And then we, bring it back in. The other thing is I want to point out to everybody on this call, right? Like, I'm just not going to make any assumptions. Does everybody have ChatGPT? Now I think, and check me here, Geoff, but I think you have to have the paid version of ChatGPT in order to create custom GPTs.
Correct.
Now, do you also have to have the paid version of ChatGPT to use that custom GPT?
No.
Okay, that's a very, very clear difference. So for everybody on this, it's only $20 a month. So I went through this probably about 3 months ago. I'm like, I've got to get more involved. So I started creating a bunch of custom GPTs when I figured that out. Like I said, I created my A team. Now, to be a little cheeky, I created my own vet for my dog. So I'm like, I got to cook my dog's dog food. I don't know how to do that. I created GPT for that. I created my own little kind of doctor so I could ask questions. But I also created my personal brand strategist, right? So I could upload my content, have it get to know me. And then when I need it to help edit or do certain things, it's knowing me. So it's helping me with my personal brand. So I'm just giving ideas to everybody to be able to expand and build out these custom GPTs. But what I have not done yet is what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I haven't built something for others. Now I've thought about, but so this gives me that inspiration. So for everybody on the call, ChatGPT, paid subscription, it's only $20 a month, but now you're creating something and you're able to give that away. You're not asking, you're not taking, you're giving, which is another really huge thing, especially, with all of our agent, any referral partner development. I mean, I'm already thinking about this obviously it goes way beyond even, realtors. How do we want to diversify our referral partner categories? What would be relevant for financial planners or CPAs or, builders or whatever? How do we help solve their problem? Can we build a GPT around that to create some interaction around it?
Exactly. Right. That's the exact thought I had was, I put my loan officer hat on, did that for, a decade. And so I understand the plight of real estate agents really well. And, my mentor, Walter Sanford, from Long Beach, California, said to me many, many years ago that if you just help agents, figure out ways to attract more sellers and buyers, help them be more efficient in their processes, understand technology and help them stay relevant to what's working. Like that's all you need to do.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. And I want to, and on that point, that makes me think about something too. Like, again, if I'm an agent, maybe I don't really understand this yet, but I want to understand it more, right? We're stuck in that little bit of that limbo. Like, if you're coming here and you're going to help train me, and awesome, and I like that, and I can see the power of that. Well, now I'm thinking of you again, not only as the expert, but you're now making me feel more engaged. You're making me feel that all of a sudden I've caught up with the game, that I'm a little concerned that I'm getting left behind, I'm adapting. And that feeling, and that's again why I'm putting that in quotation marks, because people remember how you make them feel more than they remember what you told them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's a lot of leverage. Yeah, go ahead.
No, you're right. This is moving from solicitor and vendor to partner and peer.
There you go.
That's what it is.
Right.
Because if all you do is lead with your product and price, like, guess what? So do 3 people behind you, right?
That's right. That's right. And that's why this is so powerful. Like, again, when we talk about where do we start, this is immensely powerful. And it's not just how we're managing internally our business, but we're able to put that into the marketplace, you know?
Well, we got a great example from Alberto here. My agent asked, how do I calculate the payment for a client if they happen to meet me at an open house? So Alberto makes a GPT. He can open it up anytime, probably on his phone, specific to the market, calculates PMI, HOI, boom, all custom for specifics of his area. That's a brilliant use case example. Same kind of example we're talking about here today, right? Awesome. This one's just on seller buy downs.
And that actually makes me even think too, like, Alberto, like, my agent asked, how do I do this? So you create it for that agent. Like, what if you were the intake for your agent? Like, hey, do you have an idea? I'll help you solve that. So now you're kind of, creating a custom for them, you know?
Yeah. I've been messing. We've done. I have an open house custom GPT that we give to agents. I mean, think about what are the problems, right?
Yeah.
So we could go super deep here, but do you want me to put the link in the chat right now?
Yeah, put it in the chat. So guys, any questions about the GPT, any ideas as you're hearing this? What insights? I'd love to hear. What insights are you guys thinking about? Like, are you thinking about, like, I'd love to create a GPT that could do this? Like, how do you, like, just the smartest human ever to be right by your side that could do something for you? Like, does anyone have any ideas? Maybe we could even do a live, another live version of one. If you guys are thinking about that, and maybe I'll kind of dovetail a little bit. Like, Geoff, what other things are on your mind? Okay, I'll just maybe guide you and see, where if you take me here. I want to do one-to-many strategies.
Yeah.
Right. I want to do more presentations. I want to get in front of more groups, all the things. I kind of suck at doing PowerPoint, a little overwhelming. I don't really have my marketing department that's going to do it for me. Do you have any insights on how I can, how can AI help me, create a presentation, whether that goes on social media, one-to-many, and then build out, slide deck content, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I have been experimenting with various versions of that. And I will say the best tool that I've used so far in being able to quickly create decent enough presentations is Gamma.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to lead you, see if you could say that. Yeah.
Gamma is the more I use it, like that, it really streamlines. Because in the past, like even using Canva, which is what I migrated to away from PowerPoint. So even Canva is like, it's great, right? It's got its templates and it's got its images and things like that. But Gamma is a lot quicker. And the cool thing about it is you can use AI. Here, I'll do a screen share as soon as I have it open. Now, by the way, you got to use what's comfortable. And I will say this as well, is that the caveat for me personally, because most of the content I create is agent facing, right? For the loan officers that are in my community, and we go teach agent classes. So we teach like AI and all kinds of things. I think, just to be wary of people, I'm a little bit of a content snob. And I think these promises that you've seen out there of like, AI just created this slide deck for me in 30 seconds, right? Or in 6 minutes. And I'm like, yeah, and it probably sucks. Right?
100%.
Like, yeah, it's not going to create a very specific custom level. You've always got to do some adjusting to it. So with that disclaimer said, are you seeing the Gamma screenshot now?
No, not yet. And I'll put a link into Gamma too, for everybody. But I agree with you. Like, look, and while you're trying to pull it up, obviously, like what I say is let AI leverage you, let it help you, but it doesn't need to do it for you, because we can sniff that out. Right. You still require some, there you go. Yeah. Now I can see your Gamma screen. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm trying to find a good example for you here. Let's just see. one that I might have. Let me just take a look at this. Top 5 Instagram reels that attract ready to buy clients. And I'll show you what I like about this thing. So let me just scroll this and see if I can jar an idea or two here. I don't know if this will be a good example. This is just kind of what's cool about this thing is like they have the templated layouts and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But here's what's even better about it. Let me go back now that my brain kicked in. If I go back, let me go home. I'm going to show you how relatively easy it is to create the framework for a presentation. Okay.
Yeah.
So here at the top, we've got create new with AI, new from blank. So if I do, okay, so I can paste in text. This is currently how I use it a fair amount, because what I'll do is I'll take a transcript. I'll take a video transcript from YouTube. I'll take one of my presentations. I'll swipe a video from somebody else, right? Tom Ferry. And I will then take those notes and an outline, and I'll use that. Or you can import stuff from, online things, websites and things like that. And it'll put information together for you in a very simple, easy way. Let's just see this, get more listings. Okay, so here's an example. Yeah, I swiped this from Tom Ferry. Showing you behind the scenes, guys. All right, all this stuff. This was a few agents that are doing seller seminars. This is actually one of the classes in our library for my private members.
There we go.
But there's some good starter content in here that allowed me to kind of create this presentation and have a framework for it. Now, what's cool is you got these options right here: generate, condense, which makes it a little more concise and presentable, or preserve, which is it reformats it, but it keeps your original content. So what that means is, like, if you don't want it to adjust any of the actual content that's in there, it'll keep that. But generate means it'll fill in your outline with added details. Well, let me just go condense. English. It uses an AI image generator. The format is traditional versus traditional versus this little, what do they call, default they have, which is a little bit more rectangular. But anyway, watch this. It's got 25 cards created, 25 cards. That's a slide deck. Here's the previews. I can choose different colors and everything over here. So let me just go with the one I have. It's called Consultant. You hit generate. Now, this is where the time saver is. Like, before I finish my cigarette, this will have,
nice.
Kidding, right? This will have the foundation of the slide deck laid out. Yeah. And then I just need to go in and edit it with some images that, may not work or whatever. So let's just let this play, but back to you while this is loading.
Yeah. No, I mean, and guys, it's like, basically, what he's saying is get your content anywhere. Like, you can go into ChatGPT and say, hey, help me write some content about whatever subject. It'll help, and then organize it into a framework or like a 10 slide deck. And it'll give you the outline. You drop that into Gamma, and it'll automatically create these slides. Now you got to tweak it and make it look the way you want to make it look. But again, I mean, you've created hundreds and thousands of keynotes. I've done not quite that many, but I do a lot of keynotes as well. And I spend hours building that out. Well, I can get that condensed now. I can get that condensed, and it's professional. It looks good, but we don't want it to be too AI-y. So you have to put your own human touch on there.
Now, I want you to, while you're watching this, it is building that in real time.
Yeah.
Those icons, those little separation of content. Now, some of the images I'll need to go change because it's pulling from the PDF that I uploaded. And, again, I didn't do any editing to that at all.
Yeah.
But what's cool is it's actually also pulling in AI. See, that's from the PDF itself, and that's not going to work. But it's pulling in AI designs. You'll see in a moment, I think the next slide coming up, or one of these, I can see it on the left sidebar.
Yeah.
The thing I like about this platform is the AI generation is really good.
Yeah.
It's very efficient.
Yeah.
That's usually the biggest problem. So anyway, how many people think that's cool? Like, normally you'd have to build out every single one of those steps and icons by yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. No, well, and again, then like I'm on PowerPoint, let's say I do build, then I'm like tweaking and moving things, and I'm spending like a half an hour, like, does it better here or there? Like,
right.
Again, it's just so much wasted time.
Yeah. So huge time saver for again, creating the kind of foundational framework. And then your job is to review it, edit it, right, for content, etc. But yeah, I've been doing a lot of this kind of stuff now. And then what you can do is you can export this as a PowerPoint, or you can present right from here. It's got a presenter kind of thing like Canva does, right? Screen presenter, all that jazz. Yeah, but I mean, look at, dude, seriously, this would have taken an hour to build all this crap out.
More.
Easily.
Yeah. So again, just framing for everybody, AI, it helps you. We already know this, right? We're condensing time, but just giving you these very easy, small, tactical, ways to generate and expand and leverage you, right? So if you want to do one-to-many strategies, here you go. If you want to, it can build out social media content for you. So you don't have to go to your marketing department or waste time on your own or whatever. So, and as you get familiar with it, and it is free. I think I threw a link in there, and you can get started with it. So
yeah, there's a free version and a paid version. Obviously the free one caps you at a certain amount of content.
yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just watching this thing. Actually, this is the second time it's created this slide. I'm actually like some of the ones on the second round is better.
Totally.
So this is one I actually put together. Oh, look at that. It's actually taking images from the actual flyer brochure itself that real estate agent shared. These are actual images, I think, or these could be AI generated because it's reading it and knowing that this slide is about serving food in a restaurant.
Yeah. And what I like about it too is it looks like a real picture. It's not like an AI generated.
Right.
It doesn't look like a weird, weird arm coming out of the head and all that.
Yeah. So I'll stop sharing then. We can get back, wrap it up here.
Yeah. So and time flies, man. I love this conversation, dude. It's super fascinating. And what I appreciate exactly what you're delivering here. This is easy. This can start today. We don't need this huge, this is all digestible right now, right? Like all of a sudden, just by doing this, all right, you can create a custom GPT. What do you want to do it on? You could did it within half an hour. Give that to your world, your agents, other referral partners. That'll start creating new ideas and thinking. Well, shit, all of a sudden you just became an AI expert. All of a sudden now you're a modern mortgage advisor, right? And then as we're looking at Gamma, right? You can build your framework in ChatGPT. You can grab content somewhere else. You download your own personal content, build a GPT around help me do one-to-many strategies. And you grab that, you could drop it right in Gamma and
which, by the way, one of the things you could do is you could use GPT to feed it instructions about whatever presentation you want to create. Give it the context. What's the situation? Let's say it's a buyer presentation, right? It's a first-time home buyer, and you want to walk them through their options. You want to make them feel confident and comfortable about buying in today's market. Like, give it all the instructions, and then once you have the context and the problem you're trying to solve, then you say, create a prompt for me that I can use in AI to design a 10 slide deck or 20 slide deck present. And then you take that prompt and you insert it into Gamma. Yeah. And that's the way you take that AI prompt and now use that to create that slide deck.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so crazy. It's just peeling an onion back. Like the more I learn about it, the more that I learn more. And like, I'll even ask AI, like, AI, tell me how I should use you. Like,
right.
AI, how do I use AI? Right. And
remember, it's a conversation.
And I really like that. And I'm going to use more of the voice moving forward too. I do like that idea.
I'm trying to as well. I mean, I wouldn't say it's my go-to, but I'm trying to get more and more just.
Yeah.
I saw a YouTube guy I follow, Sean Cannell, who was on my show, and he literally talked to it just like you and I are talking, with the ums and the ahs and the and the pauses. Yeah. And you don't have to be like very robotic or specific. It's just a conversation. You're over coffee. It takes it all in.
Yeah. Yeah. It's wild. It's wild. All right. Well, we've got just a couple minutes left here. Audience, any questions, any thoughts, please throw them in the chat here.
What's your one big takeaway, audience?
Yeah. What's your big takeaway? What can you start doing? What do you want to start doing? Do you like the idea of the GPT? Do you like the idea of what, Geoff was showing with Gamma? Do you guys like the idea of doing more of this content on these calls to continue learning more? We get a heart out of it.
I think we just play Roxanne.
I don't know if I can get my screen, or maybe it doesn't do it on this. Like, I'll be on a coaching call every now and then. I'm doing this, and the thumbs up bubble comes up, and I don't know how to do it, but it happens.
Ooh.
Oh, is that?
There we go.
So last kind of bit of shout out. Also, obviously you guys know we got Sales Mastery coming up here in October, 14th to the 17th. But here's my ask for everybody on the call. Right. And hopefully everyone has gotten their ticket. Sonia will put up a QR code to grab your ticket and grab it early. There's a couple things for all of you within your groups, within your branches, within your regions, within your company. If you want a better deal as well, we're doing bulk ticket sales with organizations. We've got Todd Duncan, who will drop it and do 15-minute sales calls with your national sales force. So take advantage of that. take advantage of those opportunities. So if you can help make any introductions to decision makers within the organization, if you think that we can get, you know, a broad group within your teams to go, then let's package that up and put that together, and we'll have Todd on one of your guys' calls. And obviously you guys all know Todd, and just delivering, you know, like a ridiculous amount of value, you know. So take advantage of that opportunity. So please do reach